The most important part of football and the most enjoyable to behold is goals. After all, goals win games, and sticking the ball in the back of the net causes a surge of excitement for the goal scorer, his teammates, and fans. So it's no surprise that players develop their own unique goal celebrations that can either be a one-off or become their trademark. Whether we see them once, dozens of times, or hundreds, here are the top 10 most iconic goal celebrations. Number 10. David Ginola, Aston Villa vs Man City, 2000. Wherever David Ginola went in the Premier League, his presence caused the numbers of female fans of the club to skyrocket. The dashingly handsome Frenchman wasn't just a pretty face either, he was a baller. The wing wizard was at his peak with Newcastle and then Tottenham, where he was even voted the PFA Players Player of the Year in the 1998-1999 season. Just a year later, at 33 years old, Ginola joined Aston Villa, signed by chairman Doug Ellis, but not really wanted by manager John Gregory. Ginola failed to match his previous heights, in part because of his age and then his personal issues with the manager. In fact, John Gregory even publicly slammed Ginola for being overweight. So what did Ginola do? He scored a thunderbolt from outside the box against Man City and celebrated by taking off his shirt and flexing his muscles and six-pack. Ginola 1, Gregory 0. Number 9. Peter Crouch, the Robot. In Premier League history, there aren't too many cult heroes as well liked as Peter Crouch. The distinctive beanpole striker stood at 6'7", towering over everyone with his gangly limbs. He also had a great sense of humor. When asked what he'd have been if he'd never become a footballer, Crouch replied, "A virgin." One particular display of Crouch's humor that fans remember fondly was his most iconic goal celebration, the Robot. Crouch first performed the Robot dance after scoring against Hungary for England. He repeated it a few times at club level before briefly retiring the dance, but he did bring it back to celebrate scoring his 100th Premier League goal for Stoke City in 2011. Great moves, Crouchy. Number 8. Lamano Lualua. Congolese international Lamano Lualua was a skillful winger and striker who was a cult favorite with Newcastle and Portsmouth in particular. Inconsistent, occasionally frustrating, but sometimes Lualua would pull off a moment of magic and hit one in top bins. And when he did, he unleashed one of the most memorable celebrations in the Premier League, his trademark backflips. He had his best years with Portsmouth, where he got to unleash it more regularly, but his most memorable backflip was one which didn't go entirely to plan. He scored a bullet header against Arsenal in the 2005-2006 season and cartwheeled into a backflip. Unfortunately, he messed up the landing and injured himself. As his then manager Harry Redknapp said, it wasn't the cleverest thing he's done. With persistent ankle injuries, Lualua continued the celebration throughout his career, which infuriated the medical teams of his clubs. His younger brother, Kazenga Lualua, also performs backflips in his goal celebrations. Number 7. Cole Palmer, Cold. Cole Palmer surprised a lot of people when he asked to leave Man City. Chances were limited for the talented youngster, and Pep Guardiola couldn't guarantee regular playing time. He moved to Chelsea, and then something happened. He couldn't stop scoring. That meant that Palmer had plenty of chances to show off his special cold celebration. His former City Youth Academy teammate Morgan Rogers has claimed he first used it though. Whether Palmer or Rogers used it first, only they'll know. But one thing is for sure, Palmer's insane goal-scoring record means that it's definitely his calling card. Number 6. Mario Balotelli, Why Always Me? Some players had the talent to be as good as anyone, but for different reasons just didn't rise to the levels we've seen from Leo Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. One such player was Mario Balotelli, a player with pretty much every attribute needed to make the perfect striker except the mentality. Balotelli was still occasionally capable of match-winning brilliance and scored in prolific bursts of form. Off the pitch, however, his long list of controversies included throwing darts at youth team players out of boredom, letting off fireworks in his hotel bedroom, declaring his love for AC Milan while playing for Inter, illegally buying a pig called Super. I swear, these aren't made up. He also turned up at a woman's prison once, just to have a look around. And once, when his mother sent him out for some milk, he returned with a trampoline, a Vespa, and a Skelectric set. Which brings us to his most memorable of many memorable celebrations. After scoring for Man City, Balotelli removed his shirt to reveal another which had "Why Always Me" written on the front. We don't know, Mario. We really don't. Number 5. Samuel Eto'o, the Old Man. For some reason, rumors constantly persist that a number of players from Cameroon and Nigeria over the years have lied about their age. Among them were Taribo West and Premier League icon Nwankwo Kanu, who some suggested were way older than they claimed. But for Samuel Eto'o, the debate over his age began after a comment from Jose Mourinho in his second spell with the club, who was bemoaning his striking options. The special one was overheard saying, "I have Eto'o, but he's 32 years old, maybe 35, who knows?" Of course, Eto'o then scored the very next game and performed a now legendary old man goal celebration, much to the amusement of Jose. Number 4, Bafétimbi Gomis, the Black Panther. One of the most memorable and intense goal celebrations was Bafétimbi Gomis' Black Panther routine, which saw him crawling along the ground and snarling like a panther. Gomis began using it as a tribute to legendary Mali player Salif Keita, who was nicknamed the Black Panther. Gomis used it while playing for clubs in France and also for Swansea City in the Premier League. Arsenal and Man United were the two biggest clubs to be on the receiving end of Gomis' routine, which once terrified a ball boy. Number 3, Eric Cantona, King Celebration vs Sunderland 1996. A lot of the best players have a real streak of arrogance. Some players have it without the talent to back it up. Eric Cantona was a player who thought he was superb, and you know what? He was damn right. Cantona scored plenty of goals for Manchester United, helping them to become the dominant force of the time, and he did it in the big moments. But one celebration stands above them all for Eric. It was his King Celebration against Sunderland. This had come after a rare spell of below-par form, but after some brilliant skill and a 1-2 with Brian McClare, Cantona scored with an audacious chip. And his celebration as he slowly turned to the crowd was cool as you like, as if to say, "This is what I do." Only a select few players could be that nonchalant and get away with it. In fact, an 18-year-old Danny Welbeck scored against Derby County and did a similar celebration. Alex Ferguson put him back in the reserves for the next game. Number 2, Emmanuel Adebayor, Man City goal versus Arsenal. Manu Adebayor was a popular figure at Arsenal. When he first arrived, the Togolese international was nicknamed Baby Kanu due to his similar frame with the former Gunners icon. After scoring 62 goals for the club in his 4 seasons there, he made a big money move to Man City, which annoyed most of the Arsenal fans. When he turned out for his new club against Arsenal and scored a goal, Adebayor then had one of the most wild moments in Premier League history, and it wrecked his legacy at Arsenal. The Gunners fans hate him. Adebayor barely even celebrated the goal with the Man City fans or his teammates because he had one thing in mind: to run the length of the pitch to the away end and knee slide in front of the traveling Arsenal fans. And number 1, Cristiano Ronaldo. Suiiii! He's one of the greatest of all time. He scored 782 club career goals and counting. Cristiano Ronaldo is a machine, and he's still banging in the goals as he approaches 40 years old. So it's fair to say that we've seen his patented goal celebration more times than we've had hot dinners. It started when Ronaldo was playing during preseason for Real Madrid in 2013 against Chelsea. Suiiii means yes, and the celebration is simple and striking. It's also one that other players have often copied, especially those who saw CR7 as a major influence, like Alejandro Garnacho. Here's what the master himself said about the celebration. "I love when I see other players doing it, or when people send me videos of people in other sports doing it or little kids doing it. It's great. No other goal celebration has been such a global phenomenon. What's your favorite goal celebration? Drop us a comment below and be sure to like and subscribe."